सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहा त्रिनयना माणिक्यमौली स्फुरत् तारानायकशेखरा स्मितमुखी मामीनवक्षोरुहा पाणिभ्यामलिपूर्णरत्नचषकम् रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम्। सान्निपातिकज्वर सततज्वर विषमज्वर ग्रह नक्षत्र दोषाञ्चान्या हर हर काली सर सर गौरी गम विद्ये आले माले काले बन्धे भज भज विद्ये मख मख विद्ये नाशय नाशय पापम् हर हर दुःस्वप्नम् विध्वंसय विध्वंसय विघ्न विनाशिनि रजनी सन्ध्ये मुन्दुभिनादे मानस्तोषे मानसवेगे शङ्खिनी चक्रिणी वज्रिणी गदिनी शूलिनी अपमृत्यु विनाशिनी विश्वेश्वरी द्राविडी केशवदैते पशुपति सहिते धीममर्दिनि गमनी कामिनी शबरी विराटी वाचक्री। ॐ द्रं 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 ॐ द्रं गुरु गुरु
Namaste, Suprabhatam, and a warm welcome to each one of you for this morning session. We are on the 14th day of the festival, the Global Festival of Yoga, being organized by Indica Yoga. Indica Yoga, as most of you know, is a platform which offers diverse and inclusive forms of yoga which are authentic, immersive, and transformative in nature. And we are delighted today to have two young friends with us, Sushruta and Sri Arvind Prasad, who will be anchoring and leading the session today. I request Sushruta to kindly join us. Sushruta is assistant professor at MIT ADT College University in Pune in the Department of Vedic Sciences. He specifically teaches philosophy of yoga Indic life philosophy, and also course on Indic reasoning. He has graduated with his master's and then his PhD from S. Vyasa Yoga University, Bangalore, specifically working on the application of mantras and studying their effects. So, with this very brief introduction, I request Sushruta to take over and also introduce the main speaker or the main presenter, teacher of our day, Yogacharya Arvind. Over to you, Sushruta.
Namaste. Suprabhatam. Om Bhadranno Apivatayamanaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, Vinay Mahodaya, for giving me the opportunity to introduce today's teacher and the speaker in the series of Indica Yoga Global Festival. It is a great privilege for me to introduce Yogacharya Arvind Prasad ji. He is one of the master yoga trainers, and Yogacharya Arvinda has been one of the best yoga teachers in India. Being the co-founder, director of Samyak Yoga, Yogacharya Arvinda has been teaching Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa Yoga teacher training courses. He has taught over 1500 students over the years in the training. Yogacharya Arvinda teaches mostly the asana clinical sessions, yoga philosophical sessions, kriya practices, as well as pranayama and meditation sessions. Yogacharya Arvinda has been trained in traditional Gurukula education system for 6 years in Veda Vijnana Gurukulam, and along with he has completed masters in yoga and spirituality from S. Vyasa Yoga University. And to add on to his credits, he has worked as the head of the department for Indian culture at the prestigious Indian School of Education named Saraswati Vidyaniketan, Guyana, South America from 2009 to 2011. And he initiated the process of starting a new school for yoga in 2011, along with two yogacharyas already whom we heard, Yogi Tripta and Yogacharya Rakesha in 2011. 2019 Samyak Yoga is awarded as Best Eco-Friendly Yoga Institute at Mysore, and 2019 Samyak Yoga was awarded as the most promising yoga institute by Silicon India and awarded an excellent institute from TripAdvisor. And in 2020 he has been appointed as the member of advisory board for a prestigious charitable foundation in Bangalore. Presently, with regular practice of yoga, learning the forming and other skills, the life skills from the best formers in and around Mysore. To add on to his credits, he is always cheerful and he runs various Sambhashana Shibirams, Vedic camps, along with these daily yoga practices. And coming from the Sanskrit background from his family itself, his father is also well dedicated yoga Samskrita volunteer at Samskrita Bharati, and he is going to lead us into this session, and it will take you through a guided pranayama practice focusing on Kapalabhati, Nadi Shuddhi and Brahmari practices specifically, and we have Yogacharya with us to guide all of us. And before I forget, keep all your questions ready, prepared, and not to put it in the chat box, but to place them in question and answer box. And at the end, we will have wonderful question and answer session. And I hand over this session to Yogacharya Arvind Prasad. Please.
Dhanyawada.
Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawada, Vinay, for organizing this. Shri Adinathaya Namostu Tasmai Yenopadishta Hatha Yoga Vidya Vibhrajate Pronnataraja Yogam Arodhumicho Adhirohiniva. With my pranams to all yogis and yoga gurus, I start this session and thank you all for joining this session. So first of all, let me introduce the word pranayama. And it is through pranayama that we will be channelizing prana, and through our mental faculties, we'll be channelizing prana into our physical existence. So pranayama is a mixture of two different words where prana and ayama are put together. Prana, as we all know, is the vital life force, and ayama means to expand, to enhance, and to sublimate. So ayama of prana, or enhancement of prana, is what is meant by the word pranayama. And according to Patanjali, pranayama is a vital state of existence and not a practice. In Yoga Sutra, Patanjali clearly says, Shwasa Prashwasayoho Gati Vichhedah Pranayama. So when we can retain a natural breathless state, when we stop inhaling or exhaling naturally, is when the expansion or enhancement of prana happens. So pranayama actually is not a practice, rather a state of vital existence that is achieved by practicing different breathing techniques to get a mastery over our breath and to bring it into a retention. So to retain our breath is the focus in our all different breathing practices. So today, the pranayama practice or the breathing techniques that we will be focusing on, if practiced regularly, will enhance our state of vital existence, and it will guide us towards retention. So the three different practices that we will be practicing today are: one, the cleansing technique called Kapalabhati; two, the balancing technique called Nadi Shuddhi; three, the calming technique called Bhramari. Kapalabhati should not be practiced if you are pregnant or if you are having any abdominal disorder. Kapalabhati should not be practiced if you have any sinusitis disorders. Kapalabhati enhances all our brain cells, and it helps in improving our digestive system. It helps in creating a wonderful nourishment to each and every cell in our body. Especially, it cleanses our nadi system through which the prana flows in and out of every cell. And then followed by Nadi Shuddhi. It should not be practiced if you're suffering from running nose. Otherwise, a wonderful practice that can be adopted by everyone. Bhramari, again, should not be practiced if you are in a depressive mood. Otherwise, Bhramari can help in calming the stress and hypertension activities. So I engage and welcome you all to the practice today. Let us all sit in a comfortable position, palms resting on our knees. Align your spine vertically. Relax yourself. Breathe naturally. Gently bring all your awareness and focus towards your body, mind, and breath. Let go your thoughts. Channelize them towards your body and breath. Kapalabhati is a cleansing technique where we focus on active exhalation with a forceful flapping at our abdominal region. We use our abdominal muscles, flapping it towards our spine as we exhale. Just look at me or listen to the practice once so that we all can join together. We inhale actively as much as possible. Exhale halfway, and as you exhale completely, a forceful flap and an exhalation should happen. Just look at me. That is how it should be practiced. So prepare yourself. Inhale. Exhale halfway and join with me with the practice. Slow down and gently stop your practice. Feel if there is any stillness at your inhalation and exhalation. As you feel like inhaling, inhale as deep as possible. Exhale as slow as possible. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Keep breathing. Kapalabhati helps in cleansing the passage for our inhalation and exhalation. Feel both the nostrils getting cleared off for your breath to pass in, and as you breathe out, consciously empty your lungs completely. Prepare yourself for the second round of Kapalabhati. Forceful and active exhalation. This round will go for a few faster flaps. Inhale. Exhale halfway and join with me in the practice. Slow down and retain stillness. Inhale as deep as possible. Exhale as slow as possible. Inhale completely. Exhale slowly. Deep and slow breathing. Feel both your nostrils free to let the air pass in and pass out. Allow your breath to channelize and flow into your lungs completely. Allow your thoughts to guide your breath into your lungs. Allow your thoughts to channelize the used energy out of your lungs completely as you breathe in and breathe out. As both the nadis, the Ida and Pingala, are responsible to channelize the mental and the pranic energy in and out of every cell. Kapalabhati helps in cleansing the passage. As the air passage is clear for our prana to flow, the next practice is Nadi Shuddhi, allowing the clean nadis to let the prana flow through it in and out of every cell. Nadi Shuddhi is practiced by adopting a mudra called Nasika Mudra or Nasagra Mudra. Try to open up all your fingers. Close your index and middle finger towards your inner palm. Place the thumb to the right nostril. Use your ring finger to close your left nostril. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Exhale completely through your left nostril. Inhale as slow as possible through your left nostril. Consciously allow your thoughts to guide your breath into your lungs. Close your left nostril, open up your right nostril, and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close your right nostril, open up your left, and exhale through the left as slow and as deep as possible. Once again, inhale through your left nostril. Close your left, open up your right, and exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right. Close your right and exhale through your left consciously. Inhale through your left consciously. Channelize your breath through your thoughts into your lungs as you inhale. Close your left. Open up your right and exhale through your right. Try to empty your lungs completely as you exhale with all your awareness. Inhale through the right. Close your right, open up your left and exhale through your left nostril. Inhale through your left. Close your left nostril. Exhale through your right. Inhale through your right nostril. Close your right. Open up your left and exhale completely through your left. One final round of Nadi Shuddhi. Inhale completely. Close your left and open up your right. Exhale completely. Inhale through your right. Close your right nostril and exhale through your left consciously, completely, and slowly. As and when you finish your exhalation, place your right palm on your knee. Have your eyes closed. Feel the difference in your breathing pattern before the practice of Kapalabhati and after the practice of Nadi Shuddhi. Right from our childhood until now, we have trained ourselves to energize and channelize prana in every cell through the food that we eat, the water that we drink, and the air that we take in. Breath has been the source of prana for our existence all these days. And that prana has to be enhanced by mastering our inhalation and exhalation, and by empowering retention in our body. By retaining our inhalation and exhalation, the expansion of prana happens in a better way. And the breathing techniques help us to gain mastery over our breath. So inhale consciously through both your nostrils. Retain your breath for a few seconds. Do not choke yourself. Retain as long as possible. And exhale whenever you feel. After exhalation, retain again for a few seconds. As and when you need the air, inhale completely. Two more rounds of retention. All your focus on your breath, channelizing prana consciously in and out of every cell. Visualize your body just like the roots of a plant and the prana flowing in and out of it. The practice of Brahmari helps to let this prana flow more consciously in our body. It helps to activate our brain cells and energize each and every cell in our body. Bhramari is the name given to the practice where we produce a humming sound as we exhale. Just listen to me once and join me from the next round. We practice Bhramari after inhalation. And as we exhale, we produce the humming sound. Join me for next 5 more rounds. Inhale. Allow those vibrations to resonate at each and every cell in our body. Listen to the space in and around you. The life energy is available in abundance in and around us. We have to consciously channelize that pranic energy using our thoughts and conscious willness to channelize that energy into our body. Allow your thoughts to listen to the resonance of Bhramari in you. Allow your sense of hearing to listen to the silence around you. A willful thought is powerful enough to channelize that silence in and around you. That willful thought is called sankalpa in yoga. I request to play the audio of Sankalpa Dhyana so that everyone can channelize that willful thought Wait for the audio to be played. In every yogic practice, there used to be a sankalpa in the beginning. Sankalpa, in simple yogic term, is a strong affirmation. Sankalpa is like planting a seed of strong thoughts. Sankalpa helps in directing the practitioner towards being the best version of oneself. Sankalpa is giving a dynamic force to our emotions and thoughts to transform them into willpower and a living entity. This Sankalpa Dhyana is a set of affirmative sentences to empower the self and channelize our mental force towards being a better human. Visualize yourself sitting in a place that you like the most. Feel your body in a state of comfort and mind very calm. Gently stretch your arms and let the palms face up towards the sky. Allow your palms to be the channel for your body and mind to be in communion with the nature. Gently assemble all your thoughts and mental energy at the center of your right palm and place it in front of your heart on your body. Rest your left palm over the right. With a gentle smile on your face and heart filled with love, listen to the following sentences and repeat it mentally. Let your prana, the life force, give life to these thoughts and guide them into each and every cell of your being. I am loved by everyone and everything. I am safe and secure. I am bountiful. I am all worthy. I am trustworthy. I am becoming a better me. I am enjoying feeling better about myself. I am walking into the truth of who I am. I am comfortable declaring my own worth. I am a survivor proud of my scars. I am a beautiful person inside and out. I am confident in my ability to achieve my goals. I am letting go my old limiting beliefs about myself. I am at ease with both my strengths and weaknesses. I am proud of all my accomplishments, big and small.
I am learning to step out of my comfort zone. I am always served well by my inner wisdom. I am capable of thriving in any situation. I am confident in my ability to achieve my goals. I am sure of myself and stand up for my beliefs. I am a powerful force for positive change. I am unshakable by any difficulties. I am letting go more and more every day. I am releasing all attachment to past hurts. I am focused on looking forward. I am discovering the peace of release. I am embracing forgiveness and reclaiming my personal power. I am at peace with my past. I am letting go of expectations and enjoying my life journey. I am releasing my yesterday so that I be fully present today. I am welcoming the serenity of being free of emotional burdens. I am peaceful and content. I am always optimistic. I am grateful to be where I am. I am joyful every day. I am fulfilled. I am blessed in every way. I am finding more reasons to be happy every day. I am truly happy at this given moment. I am attracting happy people into my life. I am living my dream. I am a unique individual with unlimited potential. I am worthy of overwhelming success. I am surrounded by an abundance of opportunities. I am attracting mentors that help me learn and grow. I am accomplishing more and more every day. I am inspired, motivated, and determined to succeed. I am attracting all the ideas and solutions that I need. I am enjoying challenges that lead to even greater success. I am creating a lifestyle that I love. I am successful. I am complete. I am a perfect being. I am the eternal and universal bliss. Now gently rest your palm on your knees. Feel each and every cell resonating with the vibrations of your sankalpa. Let the cells drink those thoughts of sankalpa, just like the roots of a plant. As your cells communicate with your sankalpa, as your thoughts are in communion with your sankalpa, listen to the following mantra. Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandam, Brahmanandam, Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandam, Brahmanandam, Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandam, Paramanandam, Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandam, Paramanandam, Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandam, Brahmanandam, Paramanandam, Satchidanandam. With few blinks, slowly open up your eyes. Namaste.
Gently bring back your awareness in and around you. with all your conscious, willful awareness, channelize your sankalpa to all those who are in need of a positive vibration. As we sit here, calm and peaceful, many are in need of it. Let us channelize our calm and peaceful energy through our mind to all those who are in need of it. Let every being on this earth live harmonious and peaceful. Let this day be a meaningful one in all our lives. Let joy, peace, and harmony remain always with us. Gently rub your palm. Place it on your face. Give a gentle massage. With few blinks, slowly open up your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining, and I'm here for the question and answers.
I thank Yogacharya Arvind Prasada for the wonderful practical session, and to note it was such an immersive experience for all the audience with a pleasing audio of Sankalpa. This session actually has been a revisit to our true nature of inner self, also brilliantly brought out the positive effect from within while practicing pranayamas, and as expressed by one of the audiences aptly. And a practice can fetch the infinite energy when it is learned from the personalities who have the acumen of conveying the original understanding of ancient traditional cultural practices. Ananda Satchidananda, the singer and the guide, came out at the end. Fortunately, thank you Yogacharya Arvindji once again. And I thank all the audiences for today's session and who have been attending the Yoga Global Festival from the day one, which was initiated on the day of International Day of Yoga. And we have few questions which are mostly have a pragmatic approach in nature, and most of them were in the nature of asking that what is the duration and how many times one has to practice, and if there are limitations while practicing Kapalabhati and Nadi Shodhana and any other pranayama practice specifically, and what should be the duration. So that was the trending questions from the audience. So would you like to throw some light on those questions?
Good. As beginners, the first thing we should focus is on keeping ourselves empty at our stomach before and after the practice. And because we had very less time here to introduce the practices, it is apt for me to answer this question. So as a beginner, we can start practicing 9 rounds of Kapalabhati and 9 rounds of Nadi Shuddhi and 9 rounds of Brahmari initially. As and when we are getting used with the practice, it is not about the quantity, rather it is about the quality of the practice that we maintain. So we can practice as many rounds as possible or as long as possible, unless it is disturbing our state of vital existence. But of course, we should also make sure that Kapalabhati should not be practiced while we are suffering from certain disorders like hypertension, high blood pressure, or having any abdominal disorder, diarrhea, constipation, and even, of course, when we are stressed out, it is better to avoid the practice of Kapalabhati as it might activate the vital actions in our body. Nadi Shuddhi can be practiced by everyone. It should not be practiced when our nose is blocked or when we are suffering from sinusitis. Otherwise, it can be practiced as a beginner for 9 rounds. Brahmari is also having the same impact. Should not be practiced while having headache, migraine especially, or if you are having glaucoma, high liquid pressure in your eyes. Otherwise, a wonderful practice to calm down yourself when you are stressed out.
We have one more question regarding in the same line of Brahmari. Why shouldn't Brahmari be practiced during depression? And is it not the enhancer of the condition, rather taking it to the negative side?
Okay. Brahmari as a practice has its wonderful influence on calming down our brain cells. It enhances in giving a relaxing effect to our thoughts. It helps us to defocus ourselves from a focused state of mind. It helps us to let go our mental and pranic activity. And as a depression, as a person who is experiencing depression, is in a way unable to focus on something, is in a way completely focused on something that is disturbing the state of existence. In that context, yes, Brahmari can help in coming out of depressive state. But most of the time, depression is not helping us to focus on something. Most of the time, depression leads us to be letting our thoughts go unused. In such a state, it is better to activate our thoughts first before we let it go. So to gain mastery over thoughts during the state of depression is more important than letting go of thoughts.
And we have Jai Prakash Gupta ji from Sydney has a question. Is there a natural Ida Pingala cycle mapping a day-night cycle, and does predominance or stimulation Ida help increase Sattva Guna?
Wonderful question. The actual concept of gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, has to be very clearly understood. It is not always that one has to focus on improving the sattvic qualities. It is hugely dependent on the place where you live in, the food that you eat, and the habits that life habits that you carry out, and of course the climatical conditions. So sometimes enhancing the sattvic qualities may not be helpful for a yogi. It has to be very carefully charted out by yourself or by a yogic master who can help you analyze the present situation and guide you whether it is the sattva or rajas or tamas that has to be enhanced. Ida and Pingala as channels have this very natural quality to bring a balance in these three gunas called sattva, rajas, and tamas. So whether you like it or not, by practicing different breathing techniques, the balance of these three gunas happens naturally.
And we have one more question from Sanjeev Balanji. I tend to fall asleep when do into a relaxation state like just now. When I can do to what can I do to prevent that? Is it okay to get into relaxed condition?
Wonderful. I'm very happy that you are able to relax during such sessions. It is more important to be active subconsciously than having your active conscious mind fluctuating itself. So if you are able to relax, it is not that you are unconscious or you are sleeping. Rather, the communication happens at the subconscious level. So do not worry. Rather, focus on subconsciously participating in the practice. Before the practice, have a sankalpa. Let me not be unconscious. If at all it happens, guide yourself subconsciously and participate in all the practices that you adopt.
Actually, there are many more questions. I'll take up the last. Sankalpa should be one or more, since in the Yoga Nidra only one Sankalpa is adopted. Can you guide any specific text should be studied?
The first and the very best text for Sankalpa that you should study is yourself. Swadhyaya has been recommended by yoga very consciously to guide yourself into different practices. How to adopt your physical lifestyle, your mental, vital, intellectual, social, emotional, and spiritual lifestyle. The Yoga Sutras or any scriptural text lays a guideline to us. What to adopt, how much to adopt, and what is it that I have to practice so that my lifestyle can be enhanced depends upon Swadhyaya. So before I recommend any scripture, I would request humbly to spend some time to understand yourself, to list out your capacities and your limitations, and see how you can use your capacities to overcome your limitations. So that itself becomes the very first sankalpa for our life to enhance.
Thank you very much, Acharya Arvind Prasad ji.
Thank
And most of the questions and the comments uh, are mostly complimenting the immersive experience that you gave to all of us. And we have actually many more questions to answer. I request Arvind ji to take little time to answer in your free time, and all the answers would reach the audiences as they have asked. And I thank all the audience once again, and Yogacharya Arvind Prasad ji also for giving this great opportunity to practice very much cultural and yogic rooted practices. Thank you. And we have some announcements regarding the further sessions.
Thank you, Yogacharya Arvind ji and Dr. Sushruta, this wonderful session. I'll just quickly take you through the sessions of the day. We have in the noon, joining with us Dr. Deepak Paramashivan, who is a musician and a freelance researcher, will be leading us with a session on Nada Yoga Upasana, a seeker's quest through music. Dr. Paramashivan is one of the highly accomplished musicians and a researcher. He holds 2 PhDs, one from Indian Institute of Science on Climatic Sciences and the other on music from University of Alberta, Canada. He's a child prodigy who plays more than 10 to 12 musical instruments, a theater personality, and a researcher. All many accomplishments in one personality, Deepak Paramashivan. So if you have not registered, kindly register for the afternoon session and join us. It will be a wonderful treat in the afternoon. And in the evening, we have Dr. Stephen Parker, Stomaji. Stomaji is a name given to him by Swami Vedabharati. He has been initiated in the tradition of Himalayan yoga masters of Swami Rama. So he is a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and a psychiatrist, and he's a senior faculty of the Himalayan yoga tradition. And he will be speaking on becoming an advanced beginner, the secret of advanced practice of yoga. So these are the sessions for the day. I invite you all to register, join, inspire others to join and make use of this wonderful offering that is being made. We are so happy that all the teachers from across the world, like the session that you just had from Yogacharya Arvind ji, like this, hundreds of teachers would be joining us and will be leading this session. I'm also happy to invite you for tomorrow morning session, which will be led by Dr. Ramchandra Bhatt ji, who is our teacher. In fact, to share, I'm happy to mention that Sushrut ji, Yogacharya Arvind ji, and myself, and we had Yogacharya Rakesh and Yogi Trupta, who had all joined for various sessions. We all studied in the same Gurukulam, Veda Vijnana Gurukulam in Bangalore, and our teacher will be coming tomorrow morning, who was also the Vice Chancellor of Yoga, S. Vyasa Yoga University. He'll be speaking on the Guru Parampara, the importance of the Guru Parampara on Guru Purnima Day. It's such an auspicious occasion, so I invite you all to join us for these sessions as well. And with this, I go back to Sushruji and Arvindji for the message.
Finally, after getting the upcoming events, I just wanted Yogacharya Arvindji to give some tips, and in general, what is the message that you want to give to our practitioners?
I am not big enough to give a message to such yogis who have been practicing already, and the people who have joined they must be much older than me. So with all my it's a humble request from my side than a message to keep up a yogic lifestyle, to spend some time for themselves every day, few minutes in the morning and few minutes in the evening. Just sit and contemplate on oneself to see how they can make their day next a little better than how it was the day before.
And finally, just wanted to ask you to give the details how people can contact you with your website address and phone number, etc. How
Okay.
people can.
They can contact me through email at samyakyoga@gmail.com. They can also contact me at apsharma@samyakyoga.org, or they can always WhatsApp me in this number 9538015757. I repeat, 9538015757. I would be happily answering them back.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful session for today.
Thank you.
Dhanyawad.
Thank you. It was happy to be with you.
So I once again thank each one of you. We had about 200 participants, around 165 on Zoom, and about 20 and odd on Facebook, and few more on YouTube Live. So 240 participants from across the world. We saw messages from Mexico, Peru, Singapore, and many other parts. So thank you both of you, Yogacharya Arvind, for leading this session, and Sushruta for wonderfully anchoring this session. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
thank all our participants.
Thank you.